back to today's music theory lesson. Today's lesson is going to be discussing eighth notes and eighth rests. So we've already talked about eighth notes. We know an eighth note is a half a beat, and it's going to be twice as fast as a quarter note. And now we're going to introduce eighth rests. Be sure to print up the PDF that's attached with this video, and let's get started. At the top of the page there, you're going to see the eighth rest, which is this little circle, and then it's attached to kind of this little line. That's our eighth beat. And then we have our eighth note. Now we can draw eighth notes in music one of two ways. We can draw one, if you take a look on the right hand side, we can draw the first beat there, which is an eighth note with a flag on it. And you'll notice right next to it we have an eighth rest. So we have one eighth note and then an eighth rest. So because we have an eighth note written next to an eighth rest, we have this little flag on the eighth note that tells us it's an eighth note. But if you look further to beats 4 and, then we notice beats 4 and have two eighth notes, and it's connected by this beam. So that beam is a visual telling us these are two eighth notes and they're going to get half a beat. So if I were to clap that first example that they're giving us on the very, very top of the page, before we get to example number 1, it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. If you take a look at example number 1, clap the rhythm while counting out loud. Let's do the first measure together. We see the first beat is an eighth note, and then we have an and is an eighth rest. Then we have two eighth notes on beat 2 and, a quarter note on beat 3, and a quarter note on beat 4. So this is how we would clap this measure. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Let's do it one more time together. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Remember, those eighth notes are twice as fast as a quarter note because they get half a beat, not one full beat. Let's do that measure one more time. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. If you jump down to exercise number 4, some eighth notes are missing their flags or beams. Draw the missing flags and beams. So you'll see they kind of have them traced in there for you. All you'll really have to do is just trace over those lines. Take a look at number 5. Write in the count below the notes and then add the missing bar lines. So we have 4 eighth notes followed by a half note. So we know that those eighth notes get half a beat. 1 and 2 and. Then we have beat 3 with the half note, and beat 4, because beat 4 is also with that half note. And then we draw the bar line because we're in 4/4, so now we draw that bar line. Then we see an eighth rest. That's still beat 1, even though it's not a note, it's an eighth rest, and it still lands on beat 1. So there's beat 1. Then we have the eighth note, which is the and of beat 1. Then we have beat 2 with the B, and the and of beat 2 with the C, and then the half note is beat 3 and 4. Then we draw another bar line. See if you can figure out the rest of this page, and I will see you next time.